Okay. Um, I hope that this angle is good. I'm trying something new. I'm not recording on Snapchat this time, which I usually do. But I was gonna record in my bed because I've been in my bed all day. Not in a rotting way, but I was studying basically. And that's kind of what led me to want to make a video. Because I think my relationship with time is kind of fucked up. I mean, I guess in a less vague and a less vulgar way, to say it is, I guess my time with my relationship with time is bittersweet. I think would be the best way to describe it. Because I am a very sentimental person. I put a lot of value behind things that have time put into it. Despite the effort and the thought put behind it, if it has time, it's moving to me. So for example, when I was graduating 8th grade, my school had our parents and our family members give us like, what's it called? Mementos? What is it called? Like nice letters basically to, support your milestone basically. And I remember specifically my grandma had given me this thick, packet of letters that she had written to me from all the way back to 2007 when I was born. And I think there was even one in 2006, like before I was born, before she even knew that I was going to be conceived. Like she had written something to me to like, my future granddaughter, I know you're gonna be awesome. And I remember reading that because they gave us that in class, and I was bawling. Like it moved me to more than just tears. I was so physically and emotionally moved by this packet, and it wasn't really I mean, I couldn't even tell you the words that she said about it. Like I couldn't tell you it. Like my point is, I don't remember the content. I don't remember what she said. I don't remember the nice things that she said, because at the end of the day, what moved me the most, what was the most important to me, was the time that was put into it, right? So I feel like, I mean, of course she said nice things, so maybe in a way my brain was kind of like, oh, this is the same old, like, you're gonna be awesome, you're so creative, you're gonna do great things one day. I feel like I hope everyone hears that about themselves, especially from people who are as close to you as, family members, or at least your parents. I hope that's the case, that everybody feels, or has heard that at least once. So I guess maybe that could be why I don't remember the content, but I like to think that my brain places more significance to time over, affirmation or I guess reassurance. But I feel like time in a way is still reassuring because she had so much belief in me that she decided to write about me even as soon as I was born. And these letters, I think they went up until I was basically conscious. So maybe until I was 4 or something. Maybe until I was 3. I don't even remember where the letter is now, unfortunately, now that I think about it. Actually, I think it might be in my memory box, which, getting to that, again, my relationship with time, it's so hot and cold, because I place so much value to time, to how much time something has with it. I feel like there's a lot of sentiment behind that, especially like I wouldn't consider myself a hoarder, but I have 2 or 3 memory boxes, and I hold, whenever I look through them, I physically cannot go through a memory box without crying, because these are things that, I guess the way that I kind of think of it is like a different version of me. Like I think of it almost as another person, but the same soul, but a different body, like a different version of me, a different me made this or experienced this or felt some sort of way about this that it was important enough to me to put it in this capsule where I could travel back to it and remember the experience of it. Because I have a pretty good memory, I like to think so. So, everything in the memory box, there's not one thing in there where I look at it, I'm like, oh, I don't know why I put this in there. Because everything in there, it's like a permanent, like a freezer almost for these special moments. Or there could be like really dumb moments. Like I remember there's, in one of my memory boxes, there's there's one like Panera, what is it called? Like a sleeve for a coffee cup. And like that's a dumb thing to keep. But I kept it because it was the sleeve, because in my middle school, we had a National Juniors Honor Society, and there was what is it called? What's it called? Not convention. Oh my god. Ceremony. There's a ceremony for that society, and we passed out, or we got Panera coffee for some reason, and I kept that. And I have it written on there, it's like NHS or something, in like Sharpie, in like a thin Sharpie. See, like, why the fuck would I remember that? Why would I remember something that happened like 3 or 4 years ago? Like, it's literally a Panera sleeve, like coffee cup sleeve, like why would I remember that? And it's because I have time put behind it. Like, if I had not saved that, I feel like I would not have remembered that, but I go through my memory box kind of often, and I think that one kind of stands out because it's like my prime example. Like, why would I keep that? Because it was from 8th grade. And I have no desire to throw it away, because I feel like, in a way, if I throw it away, it's kind of throwing away that part of me who touched that sleeve, who decided to keep that sleeve. So I put a lot of connection between, 8th grade me and her items, 9th grade me and her items, like everything that I own. Again, I'm not a hoarder, but I kind of find it hard for me to throw away things like that. I also have, there's a video of me that I've posted on like Snapchat before where I basically, it's just a video of me sobbing like hysterically over this cutout drawing of like in marker of a pizza, and it's just me like crying hysterically and then holding the pizza up and then wailing. And it's because I had made that when I was like, I must have been 6 or 5 or something. And I remember, I think the reason why I was crying so much is less about, I mean, time is definitely a big thing, because it's like, how long ago is that I was so creative and so free-spirited, and I wasn't chained down by, responsibility. And I feel like during that time I was crying really hard because I felt like I had abandoned my creativity. Hopefully that's not the case anymore. I don't think so. Because I thought that I had completely lost my creativity, but girl, you just too fucking busy. Like, it's not your fault. I really was placing a lot of pressure on myself. So that leads me into it perfectly, how the other side of my relationship with time fucks me over personally. So because I place so much time behind, or because I place so much value behind time, I place a lot of pressure on myself when I am trying to get things done under a certain period of time. On paper, 24 hours is a lot. You sleep for like 7, 6 realistically if you're a high school student, maybe 5. I think I get like 6 a day, 7 maybe. And so 7 hours sleep, that's fine. You go to school until 3, then I have work. I get out of school at 3. Then I have work, like twice a week. That doesn't sound bad. Work for 2 hours. I work like 5 hours a week. in person than I work online. But 5 hours a week doesn't sound bad at all. 2 hours, I work until 6 on one day and then until 7 on another day. That leaves me with like 5 or 6 hours before midnight. That is plenty of time to get my homework done, to study, to, have an hour to myself, to, whether that's sleeping or napping or, balancing my life or balancing my day with, the things that I like to do so that, your life needs balance. I think sophomore year was so enjoyable for me because I literally I took one AP class, which by the way, I think that was a stupid ass decision to me because why, like, that year was so easy and I could have taken another AP class. Well, looking back, actually, I didn't really have a space in my schedule, but I could have taken one to make my life less stressful now and next year, but it's okay. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. Also, by the way, let me talk about that real quick. I fucking hate when people say, you should have done this, or you could have done this. Bitch, I didn't. So how is it productive for me to talk about it right now? Like, especially if the problem is immediate, and I need an immediate solution, or immediate comfort, because, not all the time I need solution. But if the problem is immediate, like, I'm having a problem right now, and I need a solution right now, why are you telling me what I should have done to prevent it? How is prevention going to help me if the problem is already existent? What is the point of that? And I strongly, strongly despise it when people try to tell me, oh, you should have done this. Especially my mother. My mother does that the most. And I tell her every single time, Mom, you're frustrating me. It bothers me when you say that. I appreciate that you're trying to help me, but in no way is it productive to me to almost make me feel stupid for basically not being smart enough or not prepared enough. You should have done this. I didn't. So what can I do? What should I do now to help me fix my problem? That's what I'm asking. That's what I need. I don't need advice for something that happened. I don't need advice on what to do for the future. I need advice on what to do now. So like, I fucking hate that. I fucking hate that. I guess that kind of ties into time because past, present, future. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, AP classes. So, right, sophomore year, I had one AP class. I had so much free time. I created so much art. I played so many, video games used to be a big hobby of mine. I don't really play them anymore because, you have to abandon things at some point. I also broke my computer, so that's probably why, too. I also just started having less time. Anyway, so I played a lot of video games, I made a lot of art, and I felt so content with myself. I had really no mental distress, because I had so much balance in my life. And so on paper, especially on the days that I don't work, which is the rest of the entire week except 2 days, so 5 days, I get out of school at 3, and I have from like 3:20 p.m. to freaking midnight, because I go to sleep at midnight. I have 9 hours to do everything. I don't have that much homework. I mean, I do, but I don't have enough where it would take 8 hours of my day. Like, on paper, it sounds like I have so much capacity to do these things that I need to do. And here I am, struggling, in every shape and form I am struggling, because I recognize that I have so much time. And then I compare it to the results of, how much time I have. They're very little. They're very disappointing, actually, because I get absolutely nothing done. I have a chronic inability to dedicate myself to something with no distractions, with 101% of my effort. And I'm completely like fried, I guess, like not in a druggy way, but like I'm I'm fried in the way that I just am burnt out. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Not only does the 9 hours sound really awesome, it beats me up because mentally you have to be there also. You can physically be there for the 9 hours. I mean, that's literally just, you just breathe. You could breathe, but you have to mentally be there. I am not mentally there for 9 hours. I'm not mentally there for 5 hours. Even half the time, I am not there. Where the fuck do those 9 hours go? Like, for instance, today, Thursday, I skipped school. I left after second period, so I left at 11. I was extremely hungry, so I went to get Chick-fil-A. Understandable. I brought my friend Chick-fil-A to school. So from 11 to 12, I got food. There goes minus 1 hour. So, okay, let's backtrack a bit. I left at 11, and I need to go to sleep at 11 or 12. Let's say 11. That's not gonna happen. It's 9 p.m. Let's be honest. I'm gonna shower at 11. But, let's say 11 so that the math is easier. 12 hours of my day dedicated to studying for this AP exam I have tomorrow, okay? What am I doing now? I'm not logged in, obviously, because I'm recreating a fucking YouTube video. But that's also kind of my way to unwind and, like, de-stress myself. And because, you know what, this is a problem I have in my head a lot. You know, I'm always beating myself up about how much time I waste, and how much I'm distracted. So I feel like, I heard this today, or maybe it was yesterday, but the best way to think is out of your head, not in your head. That kind of sounds counterintuitive, but, like, if you think about it, like, if you need to jog your memory, you can't jog your memory inside your head. You have to, you know, write something down or see a visual cue. So for me to think, you know, it's like ranting, because you feel so much better after ranting because you finally have something gone out of your head that has been in there bouncing around, causing you so much stress and disorientation, because it's just constantly growing in your head in size. You know, at least for me, when I'm freaking out about things, when I have a lot of things to do, a lot of things on my plate, this is really type A of me, I have to make a list. I think I have so many, like, lists on my notes app from just making lists of what I need to do, because when I see it on paper and not in my head, it kind of diminishes the you know, the big bad, you know, stressor of it. Like, it diminishes it for me. At least for me, it kind of calms me down, because it's like, okay, this is visually what I have to do. I mean, you can visualize it in your head, but once you put it on paper, it's like, oh, that's it. Like, I just have, you know, 6 bullet points to do. Especially if I have a lot of things to do, I like to weigh them by importance. So I weigh them by points. So if something's least importance, it's 1, and then most importance is, like, I don't know, however the fuck many. So then I tally up the points, and then I say, okay, let's do all the 1 points first. And then anyway, that's how I, like, manage my stress. But yeah, the best way to think is on paper. Why was I going into that? Oh my god, why was I going into that? Do I really need to stop? And it was like because I was talking about like, oh my god, anyway, turns out I wasn't really talking about anything important when I got into that, so now I remember. I was talking about why I thought it was useful for me to rant right now instead of do my work. Anyway, I gave myself 12 hours today to do my work. Obviously, I haven't really used that much because I forgot that I have a terrible circadian rhythm. So basically, I get extremely fatigued from 12 to 1 p.m. That is the worst. Like, I literally cannot stay awake during those hours. More like 12 to 2, because it's 4th period and 5th period. Yeah, horrible, you know, midday slump, I guess. Um, so I give myself, I went to Starbucks from 12 to 3. I basically did nothing. I got a lot of work done, but I was so tired, and I really should have just taken a nap and then gone to Starbucks, but I didn't, and it was too late, so I got home at 3. So that's 3 hours, not used the most wisely. At 3, I took a nap. I woke up at 4. I think I set a timer. Actually, I don't remember if I set a timer. I kind of just let myself take a nap because obviously I needed it. I woke up at 4. I went back to bed on accident, or went back to sleep on accident. I woke up at 5:30. No, 5:30. And then I started logging in at like 6:20. So 6 hours of the 12 that I have allotted for myself completely gone. On paper, that seems like shit because you just wasted half of your day. But this is why I need to stop beating myself up for the concept of time and how much I waste, is because, it's not a waste of time if you are not doing something, right? Like, I think I have been instilled with this belief that if you are not working on something productive or what is acceptable as productive, then you are a bum, basically, or you're just wasting your time, or you're wasting your energy, or you're not using your energy. So I think it kind of makes me relentless, but at the same time, I don't want to do things that I don't want to do. But it makes me so mad at myself when I do things like what I did today, where I tried to dedicate myself to work, I failed, I took a nap. That 2 or 3 hour nap, imagine I hadn't used that, maybe it could have completely fucked me over now. So I need to stop placing so much, value or importance in the hours of the day, or the hours that I have in the day. And I need to stop, equating that to how much I get done. Because in reality, all of the time that you spend in a day is important. It's character development. You need it. You're also, your body needs to nap, your body needs sleep. If your body needs to nap, it's probably because your body needs it, not just because it wants to. Your body doesn't really have desire, besides biological desire. So obviously, it can't just want to nap because it feels like it. It wants to nap because it needs to. So obviously, the nap isn't a waste of time. It's in a way, everything you do is kind of, I wouldn't say everything you do is productive. Maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel better. Because I place so much importance into the time, I also beat myself up because I'm wasting it. In a way, I'm wasting it. Maybe it's not really a waste, but I think it's a waste unless I'm doing something. I feel like I forget to take into account. Is that the right word? Take into account, or I forget to account for? Yeah, I forget to account for my mental state during, on paper, 12 hours. Okay, but you're not perfectly chipper in those 12 hours. You're not perfectly awake in those 12 hours. So, I forget to account for my mental state on in that time period. I forget to check the dynamic between the work that I need to do and my level of effort or energy levels. There's no way to gauge that either. I can't guess. I mean, the only thing I can really predict is from 12 to 2, don't ask me any fucking questions. Don't ask me the color of anything, because I will not be awake. I will not have anything to see or look at. So no color. Don't ask me anything. During this period of time, I'm not myself. I'm, if you see me from the hours of 12 to 2, it's not me, actually. You're seeing like a vision. You're seeing a mirage. You're just not, like, that is like the demon version of me. Surprisingly, the demon version of me is just extremely tired. Maybe I'm a demon all the time. So yeah, and I also called out of work today so that I could have time. And I did lock in from 6 to 8 p.m. More like 8:30, and around like 8:30 I started making this ish. I'm also upset with myself because there was no reason for me to skip school, basically. I mean, I'm not, that's what I'm saying to myself, but imagine I hadn't. Maybe I would have napped maybe I would have taken the same nap, but maybe I should just stop thinking about what I should have done. Like, it's already done. I mean, in the future, of course, I'm not going to leave school at the hours of 12 and 2 unless I take a nap during then, because I can't lock in during those times. Or at least, like, I need to have a soda to keep me awake. Also, coffee, has a negative effect on me. Like, I don't stay awake from it. It makes me tired immediately after I drink it. The way coffee works for me is, or any kind of caffeine, except soda, which is weird, but I don't know how much soda, or how much caffeine is in soda. I think it's the carbonation that keeps me awake, but coffee, and matcha, whatever, caffeine, I get extremely tired as soon as I drink it. Like, extremely tired. I need to fall asleep. I need to take a nap. I need to lay down. I need to be horizontal once I drink coffee. But then my bedtime, when I go to bed, it's like extended by 4 hours. Like, I go to bed at like 4 a.m. So I definitely stay awake longer, but I don't get the energy boost. That being said, I also haven't had like a Celsius in a long time, so maybe I need to just try that. Oh my god, I should try that. I don't remember how I was when I used to have a bunch of Celsius. I think I had like a Celsius dependency in like December when like it was like midterm season. And I think it did help me stay awake. I don't remember if I was tired during it though. I probably should have documented that. I'm a big documenter. Like, I have a bunch of notes, like, for instance, like, what milks agree with me. So, I remember almond milk is a no, skim milk no, but non-fat and oat milk, yeah. I mean, I guess I don't need it because I have it in my head, but that's just an example of documenting. I have a lot of documenting. I guess it's kind of a form of anxiety, I guess, because I feel the need to constantly be prepared. So, I don't know. I feel like I lose time in the day also, definitely because of technology. And I kind of rely on technology now because I'm so burnt out that also my reading comprehension has gone downhill very much. Like, oh my god, if I have to read another fucking paragraph, I will probably melt. Like, I can't read something and I can comprehend it, but it fatigues me so much. It brings me so much, it brings me nothing. It takes me down. So I end up using ChatGPT, unfortunately, too. And I was such an anti-ChatGPT person, at the beginning of the year. Even the first semester, I was like, oh, I don't need ChatGPT. Like, why would I rely on that? Now I do. I mean, it's not so bad where I'm like, burning trees to ask, like, for them to do a problem for me. I really only use it for reading. I can't fucking read. I can't read. I can read, but I can't. It's such a freaking waste of time. Like, why would I read this whole AMSCO chapter when ChatGPT can summarize it for me? Especially for APUSH notes. Don't get me started on guided reading. I can't. If you have Jenkins and you do guided reading, I am sorry for you and myself. At least for me, it's hard. At least for me, I just can't physically lock in when I have to read, because there's so much that goes into that. Like, it sounds easy, like, oh, you're just taking notes. No, you're reading, words, and I don't know, I don't even want to know how many words I have to read for AMSCO. I don't want to know how many words are in that 800-page book. Obviously it's a lot, enough for me to, be upset about it. You have to read all of that. You have to comprehend all of that. Then you have to organize it into level of importance. Okay, what is important enough for me to write down in this tiny, and you know what also pisses me off? They give you this much space for this much of a paragraph, and then they give you this much space for this much of a paragraph. Make it make sense. Sorry, that's not even relevant to what I'm talking about today, but I just can't. I literally, and the year's over, so there's no point in me ranting about it because it's over. So, anyway. It's a waste of time for me to read. And it's also mentally draining. I can't. So I burn trees, and I waste water for ChatGPT, to do things for me. But it's less of like that I don't do my assignments. It's more of like, okay, help me get started on doing my assignments. Help me summarizing the chapters, and then also creating study resources for me, because it's more of a time saver, I guess, is the best way to put it, and that's pretty relevant. So mental fatigue is real. Physical fatigue is tied along with it. Obviously, I mean, I'm so tired all the time. And I really need to get my blood tested because I am iron deficient, but we need to check for my thyroid because my family has a history of thyroid issues. If you don't know what the thyroid is, quick anatomy lesson. It's a little, it's an organ, like right here, basically. It's butterfly shaped. Not that really is important. But basically it controls your hormones, okay? Hormones are a big part of what makes you, what makes you function. And if you have low thyroid levels, or low thyroid, I don't know the proper term, but it basically gives me all the symptoms that I have. I don't know about hyperthyroidism. Don't ask me that. I don't know that much anatomy, unfortunately. But yeah, because it would make so much sense, because then if I just, pop a pill, all my problems would be solved. I would be such a happy gal. I would be so chipper. Anyway, I feel like if I had more balance in my life, if I had more time, I had plenty of fucking time. If I had more, dedication, I guess, like, I don't know what the solution would be, and that's kind of what freaks me out, I guess. That's kind of what stresses me, because I say, oh, I just need more time, and then I get like a week of spring break and I use nothing. I use none of that. Or to be fair, to give myself some slack, I was nauseous for that entire spring break. Again, hypothyroidism. Anyway, so that's why I didn't really lock in spring break, but like, I say I need more time, and then I get the time and I do nothing with it. And I think that kind of has to do with when you have nothing, you have a lack of something, and then you suddenly get an abundance of it, you kind of just relish in the luxury of it instead of, taking advantage of it productively. Again, productivity. Fucking kiss my ass, bro. Like, I mean, this is not a proper relation, but, when you are in such a lack of sleep, you sleep a lot, that actually has no correlation to this whatsoever, so completely disregard that. That was, I don't know, that was just in my head and I was thinking of it. But, you know, I feel like I always ask for more time than I get the time. And I think, in a way that's kind of my self-healing, but I feel like I need more time than the more time that I'm already given. And that's why I'm scared for summer, because I feel like once I get all that time, I'm just gonna waste all of it in June, and then I'm gonna kick myself in the ass because oh my god, I should have locked in. But girl, you could not, because you're just enjoying the luxury of having, you know, no school for 2 months. Of course, you're not gonna do anything for the first 5 weeks. Hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I have more mental capacity. Hopefully I have more responsibility, I guess. You know, I don't like to be called irresponsible unless it's me calling me irresponsible. I wouldn't say that I am irresponsible, especially compared to most of my friends. Not most of my friends. You guys are great, but a lot of people I know are very irresponsible. I like to consider myself on the more responsible side. You know, it's a spectrum, okay? It's a spectrum. So I feel like a lot of my failures, I feel like I blame it on time, when really it's just me. I don't know if that's the proper thing to say or what I'm really trying to get across, but I feel like a lot of my I blame a lot of things on time, even though that's usually, you know, that's probably not the case, but that's kind of what I result to. So that's my relationship with time. You know, I love time. I have so much love for it. I have so much care for it. I care a lot about time, but it goes so slow and so fast, and my concept of time is, or my measurement of time, like I can't, all the months feel fast and slow at the same time, and the day feels fast and slow at the same time, and then next thing you know, it's already, you know, we have 22 days before the end of school. And while the school year felt so slow, it felt so fast, because how are we already in May? You know, I feel like everybody experiences that. And then so there's, you know, the fast and slow, and then it's hot and cold. You know, my relationship with time is bittersweet, and I hope I hope I'm not alone in that. I don't think I am. So that's why I'm talking about it. Maybe it makes you feel better to hear about it, or you just like to hear me talk while you're like brushing your teeth or something. Hopefully it doesn't take you like 40 minutes to brush your teeth, because that'll be really concerning. Unless you have really white teeth, then I'd be interested to see. Anyway, that's my cue to shut up.